Yo, 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 welcome back. Welcome back. It's been a minute. I know y'all thought we put it out, but no, it is still the slow burn. Had to just switch my hat. So guess who's Bazak? And I got my man Ryan with me. So we finna do this thing proper. Training camp is right around the corner. We're just gonna keep the content going with the Atlanta Falcons again. And this is Atlanta Falcons greats by the digits, number 70 through 61. Feels great to be back. Ryan, what's happening, man?
Man, good to be back, man. It's been a long time. Let's go ahead and light this thing up as we always do.
Oh, facts, man. Facts. You know how it goes, man. So, man, we're gonna get right into it, starting with number 70. Number 70 on this list, man. I it is a couple of guys that rock the number 70 that we can talk about. But of course, it is a top two. I'm gonna be what you say, like what you say, like a gracious host in the home. I'm gonna go ahead and let my boy Ryan go ahead and go first on this one, man. Who you got for number 70 for the
Well,
Atlanta?
I got to live up to the moniker, the historian or whatnot, and I got to put it out here. I'm gonna go ahead and take it back. I'm gonna go old school. This man helped the Falcons uh, during their time of resurgence and getting to the play. They actually helping them get to their first playoffs. And unfortunately, the 1980 season, how it came to an end, and also 1982 in the last playoff series that we had with Lehman Bennett. So when we talk about it, I got to go with the legendary Dave Scott, 1976 to 1982.
Yeah, you
That
went.
man right there is one of the biggest legends that does not get talked about, who wore number 70. And he was one of those guys who had a nasty moniker, definitely finished plays, great pass blocker, and very strong on the run block. Go back and look at the footage on that cat if you really want to see what it was like during that time when he was running in the trenches.
Right, man. Hey, you ask Willie Andrews, right? Ask Steve Bartkowski. Yeah, ask him, ask those two guys, man, about him. And then the good thing about it is he played in the era of the grits blitz. So he
Yep.
had got a chance to practice against those guys day in, day out. So this guy was a warrior in his own right. Reliable
And
starter and depth piece through the late 70s, early 80s. This guy, like you said, he doesn't get talked about much. He's not as decorated as some of the others, but still valuable interior lineman during a key developmental era. And just the Atlanta Falcons, you already know we were up and down, mostly down, but at the same time, this guy right here, reliable starter. I like that, man. I'm thinking you was fit to go one way, and you went even further than I could imagine. So, but he
come
was
on,
definitely on
man.
my list as well, man. Dave Scott for sure. And but moving into a guy that I have to speak about, this guy, he is very popular. He had a nice tender as the Atlanta Falcons left tackle. 178 games, but 167 of those was definitely starts. First round draft pick, eighth overall in the 1992 draft out of Stanford. I'm pretty sure you guys know who I'm talking about. Talking about Mr. Bob Whitfield. This guy right here started in the 98 Super Bowl. Long time a blindside protector for quarterbacks like Chris Chandler, Jeff George as well. Had size and athleticism back in the 90s for his size and had a nasty mean streak. You want to talk about Caleb McGarry and you want to talk about Jake Matthews, Chris Lindstrom, all those guys. This guy became before him, before any of those guys. And later in
Yeah.
his career, I know he played for other teams, but he will always be remembered as a Falcons legend. And I know he's a media personality, and I know now, and I know he's a part of the Falcons Ring of Honor. I had to mention he used to believe I don't think he owns it anymore, but I remember he was the owner of Patchwork Studios as well. Just another staple in the city of Atlanta for quite some time, many years. So with that being said, again, 1992 to 2003, Bob Whitfield.
Man, I got a little known fact for you. And I come up with tidbits. So
Mhm.
one of my mentors is former first round pick Lincoln Kennedy. We'll tap into that
Okay.
in a bit, and that's mine right there. So I'm claiming it before you say
Hey,
anything.
no
But
problem.
Lincoln Kennedy gave me a little bit of a little nugget on Mister Whitfield. You do know Bob Whitfield is blind in one eye, right?
Yes, I do.
And that's something a lot of people don't know. For you to be at that tackle position, to be blind in one eye, and I'm not saying he's fully blind, but he's partially blind in one eye or whatnot. And for you to be able to play at that level for that long period of time and be able to keep a job, it says a lot. You know, there's
Yeah,
one
it
other,
does.
and because think about it, you're in a position where you're getting hit all the time. The
Hmm.
closest thing I would compare to that, and I'm not saying that he's anything like it, was the legendary Smoking Joe Frazier. Rest in peace. A lot of people don't know that Joe got injured with training. Piece of metal got caught in his eye. Also dealt with cataracts and different things. He was blind in one eye, and he actually would cover his eye and use his good with his opposite hand and use his good eye to fool folks. So he was fighting with
Hmm.
one eye during his career. You can look that up. It's a known fact. So you have
Yeah, man. I mean, don't
boxer
get
who
me
did
wrong.
it,
Not
and now
trying to
you
be
got a
funny. I
football
know
player
it,
who
we
did
used to like look at Bob and just be like,
it. I think your StreamYard froze on us, A1, and you're absolutely right about Bob Whitfield when you talk about the eye. A lot of different things happen, but for him to keep guys upright and protect them, he
right.
did a hell of a job.
No, he did an
Oh, you're
awesome.
back.
Yeah, he did an awesome job. Yeah, man. It just how StreamYard do again. Then like I said, the past few days it really been acting up pretty bad, but we're not gonna let it stop this show because again,
No,
there's another guy that I'm pretty sure that we got to throw out there too. Now, he's active. He's active. But hey man, how can we not mention Jake Matthews on this list, right?
hey, one of the best in the game when you talk about it right now. And we call him Old Reliable, aka Old Faithful. This
Right.
man has been here since 2000. This man has been here since 2014, going on year 10. And for offensive linemen that rarely miss time and being in the trenches, where is what as my guy. Shout out to Mr. Purple on Twitter. That's my guy. He's an LSU guy, but he coined the phrase "dancing bear." When you're in the
Oh,
and you're in the trenches with the dancing bears, it is what it is. But shout
right.
out to you, Mr. Perp. Thank you for creating that term. I'm gonna make sure I give you your homage. See, the historian doesn't like to steal from others. You know, you got some folks who
Right.
do, but we not gonna steal anything from others. Me and A1, we pay homage to those who come up with things and give you your credit for that.
Hey man, at the end of the day, it's all about that's another reason why we doing this show as well. We're here to commemorate, old Falcon names, guys that people don't even remember because we do have a younger generation of Falcon fans that are a part of this community and they don't know some of these guys. And even doing this has have been so fun so much. And if you guys haven't seen our previous videos, we have started from 99 all the way to present. So just please catch up with us. But yeah, man, this has been so fun just remembering guys, finding out things about guys, having little tidbits about guys. So this is what it's all about, bro. Like this is
Mm-hmm.
good right here. But Jake Matthews, yeah, I like to call him the Iron Man because this game we're talking about a guy who just doesn't miss games. Has started every game since week one of his rookie season. Do you know how hard that is to do in this NFL? And protected Ryan's Matty Ice blindside for so many years, open lanes for running backs like Devontae Freeman, like the Bijan Robinsons, like the Antoine Smiths. You can really just name so many running backs. Regardless, Matthews was there. 2016 starter in the Super Bowl, highly respected guy in the Falcon community, in the football community. Durable, technique, easily one of the top 5 Falcons on the offensive line. If you just want to talk about old linemen, definitely have to be a top 5 guy. If you just want to make a Mount Rushmore or whatever about old linemen for the Falcons, how can you not have this guy Jake Matthews on that type of list?
Agreed. You can't. I mean, you can't have a list without him on it. Even though we mentioned the legends that wore that 70 at that
Mhm.
time or whatnot, you definitely have to respect the fact that you got 3 guys that wore that number that definitely put on for the city. And ironically, they were all tackles. How
That's the
ironic is
funny
that?
thing. That's
All tackles.
that just lets you know that lets you know how special you have to be to play that position, to be on this type of list, not just the Falcons list, but an NFL list, because there are other great players that were the number 70 didn't even play for us, but still, for us, man, those three that we talked about, Dave, Jake, and Bob, they got it, bro. They got it. They got it.
Man. And when you look at it, man, you look like we said, shout out to Mr. Perk. He put it out there. We call them dancing bears. When you got those big men that are moving around like big ballerinas, hey, nothing but dancing bears. So all I can say is, man, that's one of the dopest things that you can call those guys, because they're big, athletic, and nimble in the trenches. So
I remember that too. He did have a baby and
yes, he
still
did.
made the game, bro. That's that's dependable reliability, and that's just a guy that just loves to play football, man. That's all you got
Man,
right there. So yeah, shout out to him. So moving on to number 69. Moving on to number 69. That right there. That's a different number two that was pretty decent. But for me, I'm gonna go a little back. I'm gonna go back since Ryan went back. I'm gonna go back. I'm going with Gene Williams, 1995 to 1999. Honorable
hmm,
mention. I feel like, offensive guard, played 66 games for us. Starting left guard during our Super Bowl run in 1998. He was a key member of a strong offensive line that year. How do I know? Because Jamal Anderson had nearly 2,000 yards, 1,846 to be exact. And he was underrated, but he had that steady presence in the run and in the pass blocking. You got to be good, what I'm saying, to be able to do both back then. Departed after the Super Bowl, but definitely left his legacy as far as like being with the Atlanta Falcons in that short time span. Dependable guy. I wanted to mention Mr. Gene Williams.
wow, it's definitely a really good one. But again, I'm gonna live up to the moniker of being a historian. I gotta go back to defensive tackle, Mr. Mike Lewis, out of Houston,
Woo!
Texas, out of Arkansas A&M, out of
Yes.
a Houston kid, out of Yates High, played for the Falcons from 1971 through 79.
Mm-hmm.
Started 96 games, has 25 career sacks, 4 fumble recoveries, 1 interception, 2 safeties, and games he played in was 130, and that's including his year in 1980 with Green Bay. He literally put us in a position to help this defense of the Grits Blitz defense. He's one of the original members of the Grits Blitz defense, and helped out with that pass rush that pretty much where you saw waves and waves of Falcons coming through and knocking out quarterbacks and also knocking out running backs during that time. He's the guy that gets forgotten about when you talk about some of the great defensive tackles. Listen, no
Mm-hmm.
disrespect to Grady Jarrett. Grady did his thing while he was here,
Of
but
course.
this man is a guy that's forgotten about. And I'll be honest with you, is on that level with Grady Jarrett, maybe even beyond that. And I can say that because legendary member of the Falcons, Dewey McClain, who's a mentor of mine, talked about that. He said he
Mm-hmm.
saw a lot of Mike Lewis and Grady Jarrett. He said he saw a lot of it. Physical, tough, dependable, and really came to play every week.
Right.
Came to play every week and showed up in a bad mood.
Ooh,
So
I love
what
hearing
so
that.
when you talk about Mike Lewis, God rest his soul, he passed away September 6, 2024. He
Oh,
was one of the best to ever do it. He started as a linebacker, but he originally moved, and then he initially started as a linebacker, and then he ended up converting to being a defensive end and playing defensive tackle as well. So when you
versatile.
look at it, he played multiple positions and also was a special teams ace as well.
Versatile, my goodness. And another thing too, played his entire career as a Falcon. Now that's a Falcon for life. For
And
real.
and we got to give him another shout out because he actually was an educator. He was a math teacher for 7th grade after he was done playing. So for all the
And-
educators out there that's tuning in, thank you, thank you, thank you.
oh yeah.
Miss E, thank you for reposting on Twitter for us or whatnot. We
Thank you
definitely
so much.
appreciate it, Miss E, the goddess.
Hey,
Appreciate
what's
you.
good, E? We
No,
appreciate
I
that.
gotta look. I gotta make sure I give her a shout out. She actually reposted the show,
Yeah,
so I
definitely.
didn't get a chance to type in there like I normally do, saying thank you for the show. But I got to give her a shout out because she's definitely. It's been a while since we've been in one of her spaces on X, but she's
Right.
definitely a great Falcon content creator, and like I said, does a hell of a job having things lined up and put up in the right position when it comes to having order and knowing about these Atlanta Falcons. So
Hey,
shout out to Miss E.
oh yeah, man. Especially like the ones who are really like die hard, like Miss E, like Carrie, you know what I'm saying, and others, man. Like we have some Falcon fans who are females that really know football, man. It's not just all the guys, and I love that about our community, you know what I'm saying, all around. But lastly, man, I got one more guy for you. You may be a little surprised, who knows? But I'm gonna
No, I
go with
won't.
but I'm gonna go with Mr. Houston Hoover. Yes, 1998 to 1992. He was offensive guard. He played 70 games, but in a transitional era for the Falcons, he was a solid starting guard, protected guys like Chris Miller, helped block for guys like Riggs, and also he was known back then for physicality, intelligence,
Mhm.
understanding the game, understanding the trenches, understanding what the defensive line was trying to do. Also, one of Jerry Glanville's guys. You know what I'm saying? He was in that playoff run. A part of that mean bad boy Falcons, kind of like too legit to quit. He was all in that. He was all in that. So I definitely wanted to remind everybody about offensive guard Mr. Houston Hoover. So I feel like that's an underrated name. That sounds like a guy who's ready to come play football.
Man, that's definitely a name that you Houston Hoover. He sounds more like a congressman at this point when you hear that type of name. It sounds like a congressman to me. Man, it's just one of those things when you sit back and what's going on, Dirty Birdville?
Dirty Bird, what's happening? Said I will
All
be
I'm
at
saying is
training camp
I think
Sunday.
it's hilarious. I think it's hilarious when you sit back and I mean that name means business. Houston Hoover.
Houston Hoover. You
I mean,
better
what you
get
know?
right.
What?
Get right. Here
Oh
come Houston.
man,
Come Double H. Here come Double
yo,
H. But hey, man,
Double H strike some fear some folks on that field.
man, you
But
better stop playing.
we
You
gotta
better.
slide to 68, man.
Okay, okay. Who you
That
got for?
69, that 69 really wasn't heavily worn.
Nah,
And
not like that.
yeah, 68 has some honorable mentions, but I got to start this one off. I got to go
Okay.
old
Do you
school.
think?
We got RC Thielman, who also helped block for Steve Barkowski. He also opened up holes for William Andrews and was one of the anchors on this offensive line from 1977 to 1984. Unfortunately, we ended up losing him or whatnot. He left. We're not gonna say why. Well, the hell with it. We'll
I'm
just
about
talk
to say,
about it.
go ahead and tell
They
me.
didn't
Go
want they
ahead.
didn't want to pay. They look, the contract was up. The Falcons were bad at that time. And he just said, I want to go somewhere where I can win. R.C. Thielman decided to go to the Washington Redskins at that time. They were called the Redskins, not the Commanders.
Right.
And he ended up winning a Super Bowl with the Washington Redskins, going back to being a starting offensive lineman for Doug Williams. So he was literally on the field for history. So he's been a guy who has been in history his whole time when you talk about it, with the Atlanta Falcons going to the first playoff game that we played in, and also 1980 having one of the best seasons. And then he goes to the Washington Redskins and is a starter,
Right.
pretty much gets a Super Bowl ring, and is on the field when Doug Williams has one of the greatest games of all time from a quarterback. And, being on the field with the first black quarterback to win a Super Bowl, that right there is a big, big moment.
That's a
And you
big
don't
deal.
think about that until after it happens.
No, honestly, bro, that is a huge deal right there. So yeah, man, be on there with
Just
the
think
first.
about it.
Yeah, that's what I said with the first black. That's tough
And
right there, man.
and he played in 157 games in his career, but he
Right,
started 148 games. So the durability was there.
man. And also, like you said, he was a second round draft pick, correct?
R.C. Thielman was a second round pick, but he was the 36th pick in the second round.
Right.
So he came after Wilson. Formula. If I pronunciated it wrong, if I butchered it, I apologize.
Yeah, but I mean, you think about it, like you said, well, another guy that helped us lead us to our first ever division title. Had played with also other legends, anchoring the offensive line. Hey man, I really hate that we could not keep him for financial reasons, but I guess that is what it is, right? That it all
Man,
comes down. It all comes down to the
man,
money.
it worked out for him. He got a ring.
He did. He did, and
He
he was a
got a
part of history.
ring.
And he was definitely a part of history, man. So you can't be. It all worked out. That's what I said. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it all work out. It all worked out. My selection, because this one is not too crazy for me. So I'm gonna go with Mr. Calvin Collins. 1997 to 2001, played center and guard, number 68. 47 starts out of 62 games, and he was actually a sixth rounder in the 1997 NFL draft out of Arizona State. Became the starting center in the 1998 year, the year the Falcons went to the Super Bowl. Yes, so again, another guy that was blocking for Jamal Anderson, or somebody that had just absolutely a stellar season for the Atlanta Falcons. He always gives credit to himself, but he knows it was about the guys up front as well too. Not saying that he doesn't give his credit to them as well, but played both center and guard, like I said, so showed that versatility, something that the Atlanta Falcons always looking for. Known for his smarts, quickness, effort, physicality, especially on the run, especially on first down. But he did leave the Falcons in 2001 and later played for the Vikings and the Texans. Just another guy that was a part of the Super Bowl history. Like I said, started in the year, not came in the injury or anything like that. He started that entire year, helped that offensive line. We went to the Super Bowl. So I want to mention Mr. Calvin Collins.
Definitely a good choice. Definitely a good choice. At that digit. You might as well go ahead and move it on up to 67 because there's not many after that.
I was moving right on to 67. I was. I'm not even gonna lie to you. Now 67 does get a little interesting because I can go back and think about a guy named Mo Gardner. You know what I'm saying? 1991 to 96 defensive tackle. Somebody that was nasty in the trenches. He played 87 games, fourth rounder out of Illinois, but he was a starter on the interior for the 90s. The Falcons defenses, another guy known for toughness, another guy known for that high motor, can clog the lane, shoot the gaps. And Jerry Glanville and June Jones both, you know what I'm saying, enjoy coaching this guy. Now I think this guy's underappreciated. I mean, I understand he only had like a 6-year Atlanta career, but you think about a guy that you wanted to plug those holes and you wanted to stop the run. They called on this guy right here. And Mo Gardner, I just had to give you a salute again, bringing back old Falcons history and commemorating guys that made a difference on the Atlanta Falcons. So 67, I'm gonna go Mo Gardner.
Facts. That's definitely a good one. For me, I gotta go back for you. I gotta go to Mr. Andy Levitre.
Yes.
Veteran guard that we ended up getting
from Tennessee
in the prime of his career, 2015 to 2018. We had him for that time. He helped us get through get to the playoffs and get to the championship, then get back to the playoffs. Very reliable, tough, mean in the trenches. And one of those guys, it was just really nasty when he was in the trenches with him. He was the guy, you got Tyson Claybo, that was nasty too. But he kind of reminded me a little bit of Claybo with his attitude. He was just quiet.
Yeah.
But they, as the old folks say, the quiet ones are the most dangerous.
Better know it. You got to know it, man. You got to watch out for the ones that's always smiling and all the ones that's always quiet. Yep.
Those are the ones you take out first in the fight.
Him and Chris Chester. Yes. Yep.
Oh, man.
Chris Chester. I used to like Chris Chester, though, man. But my next one, man, because it's not like a whole lot, but I do want to mention him, definitely. We
Mhm.
he's with the Chicago Bears now, and his name is Drew Dahl. Now, when Dalvin was here from 21 to 24, of course, his father also played in the NFL as well, became the starter. Remember, they had that seesaw going on between him and Matt Hennessy, and he was able to win the
Mm.
starting job. And he was known for that athleticism. He helped the run scheme, of course, in Arthur Smith. And of course, saying also with Zach Robinson last year, blocker for Tyler Algier. He was the key blocker for Tyler Algier's 1,000-year season. Bijan Robinson in his rookie campaign. He's still developing to be going toward, trying to be like one of the best of the best. But for the Falcons, this guy right here made a difference. So he's still active. And I know, so this is more so kind of like a legend thing, but we are talking about the number 67. And I believe
Mm.
Drew Dalman in his time for the Atlanta Falcons did make a difference. And he's not a Falcon anymore anyway. So it's just like, okay, Drew Dalman.
Hmm. Well, I think you might have reached the pinnacle with that 67, sir.
Hey, but before we move on to 66, man, if y'all ready for training camp, man, let me get a rise up in the chat, man. Let me get an old rise up in the chat. Yes, sir,
Mm-mm-mm.
man. But 66, man. Hey, please do the honors and start us off.
Man, I got to talk about the late Warren Bryant, legendary offensive tackle that we ended up getting from the University of Kentucky, first round pick, played from 1977 to 1984 with the Falcons. He finished his career being traded to the Raiders. When you look at him, he started 94 games, but played in 104 in his career.
Right.
The durability was there. You look at Steve Bartkowski struggled until they started building up that offensive line.
Right.
Outside of Jeff Van Note, he was the first key piece that they brought in. He was the first key piece that they brought in that definitely gave Steve Bartkowski the time of day and really changed the mindset of things when Lehman Bennett brought him in.
Absolutely.
So when you look at that, he was definitely a trendsetter on that offensive line and one of the leaders on that line outside of Jeff Van Note.
Right. I mean, and the sad thing is he was never a pro bowler, but he was a consistent guy, so well respected by coaches and teammates. Like I said,
He
another guy that went against that grits blitz in that grits blitz era. So another guy who was gritty, physical. Also, so just like I said, a good teammate, protection anchor. And he played all his games in Atlanta. So that's yet another real deal Falcon for life. And I'm sorry, but you can go on even more if you want for Warren Bryant because in that era, man, it was just hard just being able to find guys who can be consistent, who can put their helmet on every Sunday, go out there and smack some heads around. But yes, Warren Bryant was that one.
Well, he had one credit to his career. Warren Bryant was on the all rookie team in 1977.
Right.
So when you look at the all rookie team and whatnot, it says a lot about him. He was one of those guys that was consistent, but got lost in the shuffle.
Yeah, that's true. That's definitely true. And speaking of shuffling, we're gonna shuffle on because that was about it for number 66, and respectfully. I'm just being honest. They're gonna shuffle on shuffle right on this list and move
So
on to
what we
number
gonna call?
65.
So what you about to call it? Shuffle along, Mac?
Hey man, shuffling on for home. Hey, but number 65, man. Darn it, I'm gonna start. I'm gonna bang the table because I'm
Go
going
ahead.
with Mr. Keenan Forney, 2001 to 2007, right guard for the Atlanta Falcons, 89 starts, even though he played 95 games. This guy, when you want to talk about steals, we're talking about a 7th-round steal out of Hawaii. Became a long-time starter. I'm talking about running down other defenses. Run first offenses in the early 2000s. Because why? He had to block for Michael Vick. I mean, he had to block for Vick. Yeah, Vick, Dunn, Duckett, all those guys back in that early time.
Obi Mahaley.
Right, man. That's what I'm saying. This guy was known for his power, known for his mean streak in the run game. You want, bro, we've talked about how many times already in this show have we already used the word underappreciated, under
Mm.
under acknowledged. This is another underrated guard in his era, key piece in one of the NFL's top rushing attacks. We had a top rushing attack from '04 to '06. This guy was one of the ones that was help making it happen.
Mm.
So it's another guy, hard hat and lunch pails. We talk about the Harvey Dolls, but this guy, he was before then, and he brought his hard hat every single Sunday. So I gotta talk about, and again, you know how hard it is to block for guys who are always mobile in that time in the early 2000s with Vic, Dunn, Duckett, Mahaley. Come on now.
You see, I'm
We were
scratching my head because my thing is this: for me to scratch my head like this, that makes me question how was his conditioning, because you had to be in great shape to be able to run around when Vic was around to keep him
that's what I'm
upright.
bro, what was you doing?
What was your cardio like, brother? I give me some tips because you didn't get tired. You literally was running around with one of the fastest guys on in the league and giving him lanes to run through. Ward Dunn was right up there with him.
Right. That's what I'm saying, bro. It's just hey man, Keenan Ford. That's why I say you gotta mention him. Honestly, I had to start with him. But it is some more guys that rock 65. I'm pretty sure you got one, man. Go ahead and give us one.
I got one that's forgotten about. I told you I'm doing legends. I'm doing some legendary stuff today.
Let's
Falcon
do it.
Quiet Legends. Don Smith, defensive
Ooh,
lineman.
that was my
I
nickname.
had to throw that out there. When you look back at him, you talk about a guy that played for the Falcons from 1979 to 1984, and he
Right.
moved around in the last part of his career with the Bills and the Jets. But he had 40 and a half career sacks,
Hmm.
11 fumble recoveries. And when you talk about it, this was a guy that was one of the guys who started the tradition of defensive linemen out of Miami, next to Ted Hendricks being an outside linebacker and defensive end out of Miami. And when you sit back and you look at it, Miami has always produced D linemen, even when that program was horrible before Howard Schnellenberger took it over. It was horrible. So he's one of those guys. He's one of the unsung guys that gets lost in time. And the old school Falcon fans remember him, but he definitely is one that is not forgotten and a guy that definitely brings a lot to the table that you sit back and you just say, you know what? You got to tip your cap to
Right. Nah, seriously,
him.
man. You ain't lying, man. You see, you going back, man. I'm gonna have to try to see if I can match that energy real quick
Go
because
for it.
I'm gonna go with a guy, and I hope I don't butcher this name because I really don't want to, but we're gonna go for it anyway. Going with Mr. Lynn Gottstock. I don't know if I butchered it or not sure, but I'm
Nah,
gonna
you
try.
said it. Nah, you actually said it. I thought it was Gottschalk. That's what I
Oh,
thought it was, because the
huh,
S is in there too. So,
right. So
but yeah,
I was thinking it may have been Gottschalk. But either
you
way it
got the
is,
L in there too.
we're talking about yet another tackle. He played for 4 years, played 59 games as well. Our former first round pick in 1971 from the LA Rams, but came to the Falcons shortly after. He was mainly a depth tackle, but again, had to do pass pro in the grits blitz era. And that and this year, and you know how tough that is. Again, you have to be a hard nosed individual to be able to put up with that, to be able to block against stuff like that. So again,
Mhm.
it's not necessarily like a maximum impact from this gentleman, but I had to mention him because he is a part of history again with that, like I said, against those grits blitz defenses. And hey, so I had to throw him out there. Had to throw him out there.
I'm okay with that. I'm definitely okay with that. And all I'm doing is just sitting back, just enjoying the fact that you brought that name back up. And when you sit back and you think about it, another guy that you have to mention, he's current. He helped us get to a Super Bowl. You got to give an honorable mention to Chris Chester. Played 2 years here in Atlanta, came from Washington at the end of his career. Um, Chris Chester helped us get over the hump. He
He
helped us
did.
get to the Super Bowl. And unfortunately, he retired on a sour note by not
Ah,
having a ring.
but he
And that right there hurt still to this day thinking about that, because I really believe Chester was a key piece to that offensive line. I just wish he would have stayed
yeah.
for one more year.
Bro, I wish we had one more year. Because my thing is, you look at if he was able, first of all, he was durable in his short stint in Atlanta. 32 games, 32 starts. And so, I mean, of course, helped us in the Super Bowl run, super veteran signing. That was a key piece, I believe. And if we would have had him one more year, I'm not saying that we would have went to the Super Bowl, but I'm not saying that we wouldn't have, because we would have had a guy that was already had that camaraderie on the offensive line, knew exactly what to expect. We kind of running it back, and if he was able to give us just that one more strong year, then I believe we possibly might have been able to have an extra play, or have it's an extra set of downs or whatever, because we have guys on that offensive line. I know the other offensive players have to do their job, but Chris Chester, again, chemistry is underrated, and we had some chemistry. But I do respect it, because if you feel like in your body that you can't give the team 100%, and there may be a time where you do miss games because of it, hey man, then go ahead and settle down. And I respect him, because he did go out on a sour note, but he did go out at least on his own terms. It wasn't he had to retire due to injury or anything like that. It was just he gave it all he could. So yeah, man, Chris Chester, definitely got to mention him in this.
Chris Chester definitely was one of those guys that he changed the attitude of that offensive line. So, it sucks that he didn't get that ring, but you know what? It's a lot of great players that played in this game. Even some Hall of Famers that didn't get that ring. So, that's all we
Facts.
can say. That's
That's all
pretty
you
much
really.
all I got for you with that one. With that one.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's not a whole lot that's going on with that. But I mean, honorable mention, if you want to, you could say Roman Fortin. Is it 14 or
I,
14?
yeah, I can say that. That's one of those things we could actually, I don't know. We actually could, we'll give him an honorable mention.
Yeah, honorable
I'm
mention.
not, I don't hand those honorable mentions out that easy, bro.
That's
But
true.
for that one, I'll give him one.
Yeah, man. Because that was another guy. Back in the '90s, versatile guy, could play two different positions, guard and center. Intelligent, technique, durable. Played in all 16 games 4 times.
Yeah.
I feel like, and then of course, played with guys like Deion Sanders and Andre Rison. Like I said, I feel like, okay, honorable mention. We'll say honorable mention for that.
Yeah, you know what? We'll say honorable mention for that, man.
Yeah, we being nice today, man. It is this the start of training camp. We at least
No,
we
no,
gonna
no.
throw a dog a
Hold
bone
up.
sometime, ain't
Hold
it?
up. Hold up. You're being nice. I'm not. I told you. I'm the
He
bad
said, "Hey,"
guy around
he
here.
said, "What is this
I'm
we
not.
stuff? What is this
What's this we
we
stuff?
stuff?"
That's
They
you
won.
being nice. I'm not. Listen, they got to prove it to me. That left a sour taste in my mouth when we had that darn division wrapped up and these jokers crapped the bed with that. But that's a whole nother, that'll be another episode. We ain't even gonna talk about that. But Jesus,
Facts,
I
man. Nah,
can't be listen, I can't be nice for what?
hey, man. Yeah. Hey, where's nice gotten us, right? Where's nice
Yeah,
gotten us? Our
nicest gotten
stadiums
us,
been taken over.
nicest gotten us is the joke of everybody else.
Yep,
Just
joke.
saying, everybody's joke. Where your rings at? That's what they tell you.
Yeah, that's true. That's true, man. Well, like you said, that's about it for that. But I can tell you one thing. As we're moving along, because we're getting close to the end, but we're on 64. And one thing I can say about number 64, you have to be great when you can wear two different numbers, but you're still on the list. I'm talking
Mm,
about this man right here, undrafted free agent out of Florida State. Now, if you've been paying attention and been rocking with us this whole time, Ryan talked about him once before. He has the same birthday as my nephew. So, my nephew is out here trying to do some great things then, right? Talking about Mr.
yep.
Jamie Dukes. You
Mm.
know you gotta be great.
That's Prime's right hand man. A lot of people don't know that.
Indeed. Indeed. You get wrong, Jamie coming for you. You know what I'm saying? One of the most respectable interior linemen in Falcons history. Also, very respectable guy in the NFL world as well, because he later became an analyst for NFL Network and a health advocate as well. So, versatile guy, played guard and center, protected everybody who was a who's who, known for his durability and intelligence. And of course, because he was able to play multiple positions and multiple numbers and still be great at both. So carved out a productive, long career, respectable career. Gotta mention Mr. Jamie freaking Dukes. Give us some more, Ryan, because I know you got more on Jamie.
Well, here's the other thing a lot of people don't know. Jamie, was one of the best athletes at Florida State. A lot of people don't know that he actually could have competed for the hammer throw. He was a track and field legend out of Dr. Phillips High School down in Orlando. Same school that produced legendary NBA center Daryl Dawkins. Shout out, rest in peace to Mr. Dawkins, Chocolate Thunder. And when you talk about it, he goes to Florida State. He's a part of that class that comes after Ron Simmons, the legendary Ron Simmons. If you know who he is, you remember him from the wrestling world. But in the football world, he is well respected in the college world because how many defensive tackles outside of Ndamukong Suh have you seen nominated for the Heisman? So he finished, seventh in the Heisman, but that's still good for a guy that keeps his hands in the ground. But Jamie Dukes part of that Florida State. I knew you were going to do it. Jamie Dukes is a part of that Florida State regime that started the change to Florida State having more of their winning ways.
Fact.
So when you look at it, he blocked for guys like Amp Lee, Leroy Butler, and guys of that sort that played on that team. Leroy Butler was on special teams. If you remember the old fumble rooski they pulled with Clemson, he showed himself being that running back that he once was in Jacksonville. Blocked for Edgar Bennett. So when you look at all these guys that Dukes blocked for during his time at Florida State, he transitioned to Atlanta and pretty much fit the run and shoot offense very well. Better known as the Red Gun
all over again. He said, I'm going to come in the league and I'm going to do it all over again.
Exactly.
That's
so
dope.
Shout out to Mr. Jamie Dukes, but I got one for you.
Okay, what you got?
We got another offensive lineman who wore 64 in his career in Atlanta, a man by the name of Mr. Pat Howell.
Yep.
Pat Howell originally played from Atlanta he played from Atlanta between 83 to 85, but they say it was 79 to 83. However, it is what it is. He played with the Falcons first, then he went to Houston.
Right.
But he was one of the ones who played with the legendary Lynn Kane, who is a Falcons legend, blocked for him at USC, and literally was in that same draft class where he was drafted before William Andrews and before Lynn Kane and before James Mayberry. So when you look at it, the guy came in as a second-round pick and was highly talented at that 49th spot in the second round. Played for the Falcons, didn't make any Pro Bowls, unfortunately. 67 games played. He was a rotational piece. 21 games started. But he was here to help out with the Falcons in that transition from making the playoffs to getting close to possibly going to a Super Bowl. But we all know how that ended in 1980 against the Cowboys, unfortunately.
Right.
But again, at this point, you really have to look at the Falcons at this point as one of those teams that understand the way that you win football games is you build in the trenches, inside and out.
No,
but our management decided to go elsewhere or whatnot and go in another direction, as we would say, as into you're picking your skill players before you pick your linemen, which, I mean, it's worked out so far, but I would have gone in the opposite direction because you can always grab skill players. Always. No, you build your championship pedigree and your playoff pedigree by getting linemen. And that was why the Falcons got good under Lehman Bennett. Look at how many linemen we took in the first two rounds.
Right. That's true.
whether it's open or
Hey,
D
that
line.
makes sense now. Hey, I'm with you when you're right.
No, but let Falcon fans tell you, oh, well, we drafted Bijan, we drafted Drake. I love both of them, but at the same time, I keep it a buck. We have to get better with pass protection. The old regime understood that. Problem was they just didn't want to pay nobody.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Well, I'll tell you another thing.
What's up?
I'm gonna mention this guy right here because he did play on the Falcons Super Bowl team,
Okay.
and he was a second round pick in 1998 out of Kent State. He even
Mm,
had to get his feet wet and started 7 games as a rookie on that Super Bowl team. He was a smart,
okay.
tough guy, and I'm talking about Mr. Bob Holland. Mr.
Definitely
Bob
Bob Marley.
Holland, man, depth piece, yes. You know what I'm saying? But the thing about it is we already have seen like the guys like you gotta have those guys like the Ryan Newsills who are backups who eventually may have to become a starter. You gotta have those guys, those depth pieces who when guys go down, they can step in and fill the role, fill the void. And he did such that he did play for other teams, but his longest stop was the Atlanta Falcons. And again, he did have Super Bowl experience, did have a nice run with the Atlanta Falcons. Again, had to start 7 games. So I'm gonna mention and bring him back up to Atlanta, Mr. Bob Holland.
Okay. I I'm with you when you're right. I'm in the car with you on this one. I'm not even gonna disagree with you on this one, my brother. I can't.
Yeah, yeah. Shout out to Penn State Sports Talk. Hey man, I got a buddy named Jordan. Y'all might have known him. He's a Penn State fan. But yeah, man, said Falcons are going to make the playoffs this year, but the Eagles are ending that season.
Well,
We'll see. We'll
you,
see. I ain't gonna lie to you.
man,
I just
I done told you.
we'll
Wait a
see.
minute. No,
We'll
no,
see.
no,
See.
no.
We'll
I've
see.
told you about this niceness already. I
All
done
right, all right,
told you
all
about
right. Let's
this.
back it up. Back.
No, back there. No, let me get this because
Back
you was
up.
too nice with that one. You
All
can
right,
be
go ahead.
nice.
One more
I'll
time.
be the bad cop.
Go
We
ahead.
match up. Listen, Philadelphia won the Super Bowl. They did their thing. But
You did.
we're one of the teams that match up well with the Eagles. We can run the football on Philly. We've proven that. And here's my thing. It hurts me to my heart that I got to see my Georgia Bulldogs that I pulled for from the time they was recruited out of high school to watch them lift the Lombardi Trophy in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. And I
Philadelphia.
watched them lift 2 natties at UGA. Half of that talent should already be on the roster. But I'll take my number 1 draft pick, but it should have been more dogs that was drafted. But we had an idiot in Arthur Smith who had too much of a say-so in what was what. So at this point, it is what it is, man. Philly is definitely a good team, but they're beatable.
I mean,
They're
and the last time
definitely
I checked,
beatable.
we won the last time we played Philly in Philly. So
Even when you had the game won and Sirianni decided to screw it up, we still had to go down the field and score, and then our defense had to stop it.
had
So
to
it's
stop.
not just on Sirianni, but it's
Thank
okay.
It's all good, man. But yeah, man, that's what it's all about, man.
I
Um,
love
we're gonna
it.
keep on moving. We're gonna what they say, we're gonna keep on moving, just keep on moving because we
Keep
at number
on moving.
63. Number 63, man. And it's not a whole lot of people for me on this one, but the one that is have to be on this list for me is just Mr. Justin Blaylock,
Okay.
2007, 2014, left guard, a guy who had 125 games, 125 starts. You know what I'm saying? Second rounder out of Texas. Like I said, started every single game. A true role model in the locker room. Guys loved him. Loved his consistency, his toughness. Of course, protected Matt Ryan in his rookie season. Key blocker for Michael Turner, who had 1,000-yard seasons. So that's key, right? Again, one
Yep.
of the top interior linemen in franchise history. Some people may put him in the top 5, some people may not. It's all depending on who you're talking to. But again, another intelligent player that was able to move defenders at will in the run game. Key part in major roles in 2010, 11, and 12 playoff runs, including that hurtful NFC championship game. But
Don't remind me.
man, that I tell people, bro, that hurt me more than the 2016 to me. I mean, maybe because I was there as well, but it just that right there, that was a long ride home, and I did not have far to go. For real, bro. I did not have far to
Man,
go. It was long though.
I gotta go. I gotta go with. I mean, man, we had one guy that we don't talk about much. We had Ben Garland on that offensive line at 63. Solid player when you
Yeah,
look at it.
yeah,
Ben Garland was a guy that helped us get to the Super Bowl as well. So when we look at some of these guys, you really pay attention to what we have. He played center, even though he was a center. He also
hmm
play. He also is a United States Air Force officer, by the way, has graduated
right.
from there and served time in the military. Played from 2015 to 2018, and started 15 games, but played 68 games. He and Alex Mack definitely had great cohesion at their center position because we use both of them. We
We
use
did.
both of them. And he also played other positions on the line. That's what else they don't tell you. Played a little guard too. So when you look at Garland, gotta salute to my fellow veteran. Shout out to Air Force vet. You know, we call him Chair Force, but you know what? I clown about. See, I can say it because I'm a veteran. See, I can talk
Right,
church.
right, right,
I can
right.
say it, but
It don't
y'all can't
sound right
say it.
coming from me.
I'm gonna tell you like this, but y'all can't say it. Now, see, I can
Right,
pick on my brother. I can pick on my brother or whatnot, but you can't pick on him. But
right.
I don't like officers anyway, so they can take that how you want it. I'm just joking.
Yeah,
Look, I was enlisted scum as they call us. So you know what? It's a reason why we say that. But getting
enlist.
back to it,
Oh
Ben
my
Garland was highly intelligent, one of those guys that you could depend on if you needed him. Even if Alex Mack went down, he slid in, did what he needed to do. Because remember, he had to come in and after Alex Mack couldn't play anymore on that leg.
God. Right. That's
Everybody forgets that Alex Mack went out of that Super Bowl with his leg being broken. That medicine wore off. He wasn't the same.
I was just about to say
So,
the medicine wore off. Yep.
so
And
when you
the
look at
Patriots
it,
knew what they were doing about that too, man.
exactly,
They knew what
you're
they were
talking
doing.
about a guy who ended up playing through pain. When you talk about Mac, but Mac couldn't do
Right.
it anymore. You had a reliable veteran in Ben Garland.
That's true.
So
Hey
I
man,
I
shout
I can
out
give
to
him
Ben
nothing but
Garden.
respect, man.
That was a good pull right there, for real. You know what I'm saying? Because not a lot of people remember Ben Garland. They talk about some of the other guys, but yeah, Ben had to step up too. And
Mm-hmm.
without him stepping up, hey man, we would who knows? Who knows what we may end up because he did have to play a valuable part. Now again, like I said, it's not a lot of guys on this list for me, but of course we got to talk about since I mentioned Jake Matthews, even though I know he has a longer career than this young man so far, but this man it looks like he's going to be another one of those ones, as we like to say. Talking about right guard Chris Lindstrom, one of the best, if not the best, right guard in the league. And he is continuously climbing over 75, 74, 75 games now. Former first rounder, of course, day one starter from the beginning, zone blocking scheme, athleticism, second round honors, key protector in Arthur Smith scheme, Zach Robinson scheme, Tyler Algier, Bijan Robinson, all our Cadero Patterson. Everyone loves Chris Lindstrom, and they love to run that way along with him and Caleb McGarry. That has one of the best, I say, outside zone runs. You know it's coming, but you just can't stop it because him and Caleb McGarry together are man one of the best tandems when it comes to that outside zone run. And again, like I said, if he's not the best offensive lineman, he's definitely number two and no lower than that. So I definitely want to talk about Mr. Chris Lindstrom and his growing legacy in the city of Atlanta.
Durability, availability, and also toughness.
You get it
And
all.
the last thing that it doesn't get mentioned as it should, intelligence.
Yep.
Highly, highly
What they say,
intelligent
smart as a
football
whip.
player. Highly intelligent football player. And for him to come in the way that he did and for him to grow and become the player that he is and being literally the top guard in football right now.
Yeah.
If you don't know, he's the number one guard in football right now.
Right.
So he's not a slacker. He's one of those guys that's actually out here busting his tail, doing the damn thing, and really contributing to the Falcons' future success. So all I can say is I'm glad that we got him when we did. I'm
Yes.
glad that he's been able to turn that switch on. And, it seems like the Falcons have done well with taking Boston College players for some reason, from Matt Ryan to Jesse Bates, Chris Lindstrom. I
Right.
mean, you can't knock it.
You can't.
Really can't knock it when you've had when you've had one Hall of Fame quarterback, no matter how you put it. Now you have a safety that you got pretty much traded for, and he decided to come here. And then you have an offensive lineman. That's 3 players. 2 players currently. Jesse Bates, if he keeps playing the way he's playing, he's going to be a Hall of Famer, no doubt.
Oh, yeah, 1,000%.
Lindstrom is starting to teeter beyond just being a good player to becoming a great player. And then once he exceeds the expectations of being a great player, he becomes a Hall of Fame player.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? He's building that resume. He's definitely building that resume to be, like I said, man, it'll be great to be able to keep a guy like that because, like you said, Boston College, hopefully Jack Nelson will be another one from Wisconsin. Only reason, again, like I said, he fails because he had those little nagging injuries in the process. But I think that's another steal. Just, having these offensive linemen, is going to be a great thing. Before we move on to 62, I do want to have an honor. Only reason I want to mention him is because he did go on to have a long, lengthy 14-year career. But people don't remember it all started right here in Atlanta. And I'm just going to say his name, Roberto Garza. Roberto freaking Garza, man. Left Atlanta after the 2004 season, went on to the Chicago Bears in 2005, went on to play in a Super Bowl. It had a long, lengthy career. Ended up playing all up and down the line, left guard, right guard, center, just no tackle, of course, but still durable guy. People don't remember he was an Atlanta Falcon. People talk about the Bears all the time about him, but they don't remember that he started as a Falcon. So just wanted to mention that.
Short time with the Falcons, but definitely an impactful time because he came during the transition of this team.
Yeah, he did.
So
he did.
You really can't sit back and take away from him, but I'm with you, give him an honorable mention. But most of his time was in Chicago.
It was.
Most of his time was in Chicago. So,
and another reason why I just mentioned him too is because I have had discussions about Roberto Garza, really, because it's just like, well, what would have happened if we would have been able to pay him and keep him? I mean, we don't know, brother. We don't know, but I will acknowledge that he did go on to have a long, lengthy 14-year career. So, 10 plus years after Atlanta. At the end of the day, I give him his respect as far as being a player in this league. But again, people always talk about Chicago because they don't remember that short stint in Atlanta. They don't remember that he was an Atlanta draft pick.
62 is short. I'm gonna let you have that one, sir.
You said 62 is short. We in the mud. We in the mud about 62.
Hey, that thing coming up short like the rent on Good Times at 75, bro.
Dang, bro. I'm talking about it. We definitely need an IOU back then. Yeah, 62 kind of skimpy, man. Like I said, we in the mud about this, and I was just kind of foreshadowing on who it is. It's a guy named Mud Duck. Maybe you've heard of him. Todd McClure. Yeah, 2000 to 2012. Our starting center. Another guy who was an Iron Man. Now, he started most of his career. Only 2 games he did not start. Undrafted free agent. Can you believe it? And out of that old bayou, but he loves the Atlanta Falcons through and through and talks about it all the time. One of the greatest centers in Falcons history. Played 13 years, man. Key blocker for Vic. Key blocker for Matt Ryan. Shoot, even key blocker for Byron Leftwich, Joey Harrington, all those.
No. Please don't go back to those days.
Hey, I'm just saying, man. I'm just saying, regardless of who you were behind him, he had your back. That's basically what I'm just saying. No matter who it was, he had your back. That was Mud Duck, man. Again, a Falcons
Man,
all
you
time
brought back some dark
game
history
at
when you said that, man. I'm
Ah,
gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you how I'm feeling right now. Since you brought that dark history, see, since I've been old school all day. See, I got to go old school for you. You got me looking like Gizmo right now. Just
not Gizmo.
you got me looking like
Shout out to
Gizmo. Shout out to the Gremlins, man. If
shout
you
out to
know, you know. Got me over here looking like Gizmo today when you said that. Please don't bring back those dark days. Don't remind me.
Oh yeah. Says you. Oh yeah, man. Hey, boom. Please, by all means, um, you can go to either my page or you can go to Ryan's page, and it should be on there. If you go to my page, I know I have the logos and everything. Or should I myself?
He got every episode.
Yeah, I got every
I only
episode.
got a few.
Yeah, it's already in a playlist. It's already in a playlist and everything. It should be called Atlanta Falcons Greats by the Digits. We started from 99 and we worked our way all the way up, you know what I'm saying, mentioning guys that have been forgotten, mentioning guys that you should know. This has been great, you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm like, I had to bring in Ryan, the historian, to help me do this. And so far this has been great. This has been so much fun. But yeah, man, it's all about Mug Duck for number 62 for me. But I want to know who you got, man. Who you got?
See, you just did that for 62, man. I'll be honest with you, brother. For 62, I'll be honest with you, man. I can't sit there and say that. But I say we gotta go with Brent Miller, former Falcon or whatnot. Started 100, played in 118 games, started 63 games, played tackle, solid player out of Iowa. Was a Hawkeye. Understand, very durable during bad and lean years with the Falcons. So that's pretty much who I have for 62.
Yeah, that's we're on the same page, my good brother. And I know they say all good things come to an end, but we are reaching the end of this list for today. We're on number 61. And Ryan, please do honors of who you got at number 61, please, sir.
I'm going old school. I have Atlanta Falcons center, guard and center from 1981 to 1990, Mr. John Francis Scully Jr., a
Love it.
product of Notre Dame.
Yes.
So just to give y'all a heads up, we do have Notre Dame players, so you already know that they definitely last. Played for the Atlanta Falcons all his whole time, played in 112 games, started 82 games and had 3 fumble recoveries during his time. He only saw the playoffs really once in his career, which was 1982, which was the year we lost to the Minnesota Vikings. And from that point on, he was just a player on a bad team that was in purgatory.
Right.
So got to shout out Mr. John Scully, 9-year veteran for the Atlanta Falcons. He ended his season his last season was in 1990. Sadly, he actually missed out on the Too Legit to Quit Falcons.
Yeah, he did. He did.
And here's I got a little trivial fact for you. So in the 1989 season, really it was 88, but transitioned to the Super Bowl in 89. He played the piano for Bruce Springsteen's Meeting Across the River in the Super Bowl off the Born to Run album in Super Bowl 23 in the NFL Players Talent Showcase.
That is crazy. Like I never. That's one thing I never knew. See, that's what I'm saying. That's why you got to come in and be a part of these type of shows. You never know what little tidbit, what little nugget that either one of us, but especially Ryan, may pull out.
But ended his career, unfortunately, he ended up having, he was cut from the Falcons in 91 right before the Quit team was put together after undergoing a radical surgery on his right leg. So he dealt with some injuries that people don't know about.
All right.
But was never seen. Cut him, and that was that.
There you have it, man. There you have it. Well, man, that's a good pull. Like I said, I love that pull, man. I'm gonna go with somebody a little different. I'm gonna go with Mr. Robbie Toback, 1994 to 1999. We're talking about somebody that went to the playoffs with the Falcons, went to the playoffs again with the Falcons, but also the Super Bowl as well. 80 plus games, you know what I'm saying? Was a center for us, was a left guard for us as well. You know what I'm saying? Started in the mid 90s, reached the playoffs, like I said. His main thing, a lot of people talked about how strong he was. Consistent interior lineman protecting Chris Chandler, guys like that, known for physicality, leadership. He did leave Atlanta and go on to have a successful Seattle Seahawks career as well, going to more Super Bowl appearances as well. So just overall, just a good football player. Just had to mention him because he was an Atlanta Falcon first. And again, not to mention, this guy also had 2 receptions for 15 yards and a touchdown. Yes, the lineman scored a touchdown. This was back in his 1996 season. So just a versatile football player all around, Robbie Tobin.
Man, you definitely have a great you definitely have pulled a great one out of the bag. But I also have another one for you.
Okay.
No longer playing with the Falcons. Played here for a couple of years. We got Matt Hennessy, aka Hen Dog.
Okay.
So when you go 61, I'm going current with that. Hennessy was a guard and a center. Played both positions, but definitely showed promise at the guard spot until he got injured. We ended up getting rid of him 2024. And pretty much Hen Dog went elsewhere to play with the 49ers. So when you look at it, he was definitely starting to come into his own, even at that center position. He was starting to come into his own here in Atlanta. But again, we apparently felt like we didn't need him, so they cut him. But during the time he was here, he was very reliable and also played through a lot of injuries too. The stuff that we don't talk about. So Hen Dog, so shout out to Hen Dog and whatnot. That was pretty much my last one I had for you.
Okay. Well, you ended it with the Hen Dog, but I'm gonna go old Joe Harley. 2010 to 2014, another guy who was played center, another guy that learned behind Mud Duck, also played for the Falcons early in Matt Ryan career, helping be a depth piece, leadership, leaving it all on the line. That was another guy that was a hard hat type of a guy too. The early 2000s had some playoff success with us as well. I just wanted to mention him in that span right there, because again, a lot of people forget about Joe Harley, almost like a Ben Garland. Now, it didn't get us to the Super Bowl, but at the end of the day, we were close, and Joe Harley was on the team as well, being a part of that offensive line, helping out, and even times where Mud Duck did retire, we did have Harley, and remember we had, I think, Peter Kahns and around that area too, I think. Oh gosh. But anyway, don't want to bring up too many bad memories on this. This is supposed to be a happy show, so we're going to keep on moving with that. Mr. Joe Harley, like I said. I do have an honorable mention before we get up out of here, though.
Who's your honorable mention?
Mr. Bill Sanderman, 1967-1963 offensive tackle, was a part of that early Falcons offensive line for the first few seasons, played left and right tackle, and he provided some solid protection over for a few years. Of course, it was a foundational type big team building that the Falcons were in that time frame. But you want to think about like the early Falcons, he was a part of it in 1967. It's all started for him.
Man, you ain't never lied about that. When you talk about the original Falcons that came through, that is a whole different. All I can say is that is a whole different animal when you talk about the Falcons when they first started. We could do a whole show on how bad that was or whatnot. But
right.
Definitely, I definitely enjoyed it with you today, my boy.
Oh man, we needed it, man. Earlier, if you guys hadn't checked it out, me and Smitty, we tapped in to make sure we finished off our training camp battles for the safeties. Well, I know yesterday we had some StreamYard doing some terrible StreamYarding yesterday, and it did kind of chop up our trenches, defensive and offensive line. But you can still check that out. Most of it still came through. It's just it's gonna have you got to bear with it. But today we finished that, and I also wanted to get back into the slow burn because I know folks was like, man, they put that cigar out. Nah, we didn't put it out, man. It's just been so much going on, so much Falcon content, so many different things that we're gearing up for training camp, which starts tomorrow for the fans. And at the same time, man, we had to get back into it. So yes, this was very fun, Ryan. Glad we was able to pick it back up and continue with, until we get all the way to number one.
Most definitely. I can't wait to go through that with you, my guy, and definitely enjoying this slow burn, man.
Mm-hmm. Let the people know where they can find you, my brother.
Man, you guys can catch myself, the historian, and the Magnificent Birdcage crew on Thursday nights, pretty much tomorrow night, on the Birdcage LLC at 8 p.m. And also during the season, we have a pregame show. Before that, we have a halftime analysis that I do, and then we also have the party line or the benediction post-game show. After we plan on having more party lines than benedictions, more than what we had last year. And again, we also have plenty of interviews that we do for the people out here. Last interview that we had Miss Connie Carberg, the first female scout in NFL history that worked for the New York Jets, to do an interview. So if you missed it, please check that out. Definitely appreciate you having me on, A1. Definitely love it and love collabing with you and Smitty out here doing a damn thing, man. Just geared up for this season, man.
Hey, man, we trying to do it, man. That's what it's all about. We do this because we love it. We also do it for the fans, for the friends who watch this show, family, everybody like that. So support.
We even do it for the swagger jackers, the thieves out here that like to steal what we do.
We do, man.
I don't have everybody. And I told you I'm the bad guy today. Normally I'm normally chill, but I don't mind being the bad guy today. So the swagger jackers out here that like to steal from folks, you know what? God bless you, because you need it more than we do. So continue to keep doing what you're doing. And we appreciate you just tuning in, because you give us likes, you give us looks. We appreciate it.
Hey, that's what I'm talking about.
Never talk bad about those who do you wrong. Always talk positive and speak positivity and wish them well, because apparently creativity lacks with a lot of folks.
Hey, not everybody has the same genes. Not everybody has the same creativity. It is what it is. But I'm going to tell you what else it is. It's A1 Forever Sports, the platform on YouTube. Make sure y'all come over, like, comment, and subscribe. Be a part of the A1 family. Hey, man, everything can be coming through A1 Forever Sports. You just never know. And just keep on tapping in, because definitely going to be a training camp this week. Going to be tapping in with the fans. Going to be tapping in with everybody, man. So my first training camp personally, as far as going to Flowery Branch. So I'm ready to have all the fun in the world out here and experience exactly what that atmosphere is going to be like. So can't wait to get out there. Also, Twitter, A1 Forever, Instagram, A1 Forever. The TikTok, the real A1 Forever. Also, the Hawks Digest. Come on over to the Hawks Digest and get that Atlanta Hawks content, no matter how big or how small. We talk it all over on Hawks Digest as well. And hey, I'm gearing up for the season. Can't wait to get back to Fox. Can't wait for week 1, because I'm gonna be in the building, ready to work, ready to get out there, ready to see exactly how the atmosphere is. Hopefully, I'll see each and every one of you guys when that time comes as well. But until next time, guys, peace and blessings to you all. Thank you, guys. Thank you to everybody who tuned in to this, and we're going to be doing this more often. So just continue to tune in. Until next time, peace and blessings to you all. If you haven't, hey, if you're just tuning in, go back to the beginning. I'm telling you, you missed a great show, but it's all right. You can always go back and let's get it in. Make sure you find your peace today, because positive energy always creates elevation. And we are out.
Ghost.